Okay, so we've had the Arris Freesat 4K HD recorder for about 2 weeks. We have experienced some issues with it, and so this is what this video is for, really. It is important to note that this television is yet to be upgraded. It's still a full HD 1080p Sony Bravia from about 6 years now, but it's been a workhorse and very reliable. Anyway, we have a Samsung HWQ90R Atmos soundbar, an Xbox One first gen, and the Arris Freesat. So we've got the two HDMI cables, one from the Freesat, one from the Xbox into the soundbar, and then on the audio return channel into the television is another HDMI lead. The HDMI leads have been changed, everything's working as it should. It's important to note as well that we had a Humax Freesat 1100 prior to this, which the reason we changed it was just purely because it started to exhibit some issues. So we've gone to the Arris now for future proofing, but we are experiencing some issues. So to start with, when we power it on, it's fine. The HDMI control turns on. The TV, Freesat, everything works okay in that regard, and as you can see, Dolby Atmos appears on the screen, but this is only in standard definition television. So for example, if I go to CBeebies HD, because my son is our morning staple, as you can see there is no sound and no Dolby Atmos displayed. But if we go to BBC iPlayer, which obviously is the same content, and we select the child, that is my son Isaac, you can see that the content is there, right? Okay, and if we just choose number blocks as an example and press play, Dolby Atmos appears, so it is passing through correctly, and there's sound coming out. And just for clarity, if I play anything through the Xbox, it works fine. So the soundbar isn't the issue here. It's definitely some sort of firmware or software issue in the Arris. I know it's quite widely slated on the forums, but I thought this would be helpful to somebody, and if anybody can point me in the right direction. Only other way I've been able to get this resolved, but it's not a resolution, it's a workaround, which isn't satisfactory to my regard, because I have to switch off the surround sound and change everything to stereo on the Freesat settings. And as you can see, sound is back on, but it's not in Dolby Atmos. Plus, my now satellite speakers are now nigh on useless when I'm streaming television. So, yeah, Arris need to pull their finger out, I think. Some forums suggest that the mute button pressed a number of times will sort the issue. So just so you can see, I'm pressing mute on my remote, and it is actually muting the soundbar as well, and I've turned it off so that we're supposed to have sound, but we clearly don't. And we'll do it a second time, and we can see that muting is off and it is still not working. Another suggestion on the forums is to find the power button and hold it for 8 seconds, I believe. And when we power it back on, hopefully we shall see some sort of, possibly a resolution. But having said that, I can manually take the cable out the back of the Arris box, and sound returns with surround, but Dolby Atmos does not display on the soundbar, which then tells me that Dolby Atmos is not being passed through from the Arris box. Either way, there is a software bug in this. I am yet to report it to Arris, probably will do later on today, but these videos are more for anyone in the future and possibly to pass on to Arris for them to see the process and the troubleshooting steps that I've taken. There we go, we've got sound again now after that power off. And just to clarify, we should be in the surround setting. Yes, we are.
Well, my dad married Jess
so
and moved into his house.
There is a somewhat workaround, but I still don't think it's functioning correctly because Dolby Atmos hasn't been displayed on the page. Likewise, if I find some Atmos content, for example, let's look at Enola Holmes, which I watched the other day, which we know is Dolby Atmos, but Dolby Atmos has not been displayed. Let's with me, Irishman, we know is Dolby Atmos, and we saw previously Atmos displayed when we changed to an Atmos content.
Well, the children are clever. That's a bit strange.
Codec.
Boys, bit of dark horse.
And it's not applying. So I think there's definitely a problem with this box.
How are they coping after all they've been through?
And I'll just pause and switch over to the Xbox, and you can see that when you browse Netflix on the Xbox, Atmos is displayed, so it is passing through correctly. The soundbar is not the issue here. If we switch the source to HDMI 2, which is what my Xbox is plugged into, and we switch on the Xbox, you can see it's all illuminated correctly, and you should see that eventually change to the old Xbox is pretty slow. There we go. Dolby Atmos enabled and appears correctly. So the soundbar is fully functional. No issues with the soundbars as such. Definitely think there is an issue with this Freesat